All right, as we go into a whole new day in trade, let's take a look at the global cues from last night. The S&P and Nasdaq both gained yesterday. The S&P 0.2%, the Nasdaq 0.4%. The Dow, however, closed flat. Now, S&P and Nasdaq gained, Intel rallied 7%, tech stocks went higher. Why? Interest rates are going to be low. The Treasury yield 10-year benchmark fell actually almost 10 basis points, retreating from a record high of 1.18 to 1.09. So that's always good for tech stocks. Apart from this, two key Fed officials came forward and said that rates are going to stay low, monetary policy will remain easy, and they're not going to do anything to the rates up until inflation crosses 2%. So we have that much wiggle room to keep the party on, so to speak. Stock futures currently positive on the Dow, S&P and Nasdaq futures up 0.2% each. Now, Asia stocks were mixed this morning. Investors await the release of Chinese trade data for December. The Nikkei was up in early trade. The Topix was hovering above the flat line. However, the Kospi in Korea, which has been on a tear, retraced around 0.26%. And then you also had the S&P ASX 200 in Australia retracing around 0.2%. So Asia definitely a mixed bag this morning. Now, European stocks closed slightly higher yesterday. The stock 600 ended up 0.17%. Telecom stocks climbed 1.1% to lead the gains. Travel and leisure stocks lost 1.1%. So Carrefour surged 13.4% yesterday after Canada's Alimentation Couche-Tard said that it had opened merger talks with the company. Telefonica shares also jumped 9.6% after an announcement of a $9.4 billion sale of phone masts to American Towers. Two commodities we always need to do a check on for you, oil and gold, one doing well, the other not so well. Oil prices were little changed on Wednesday, so that's good. However, one thing that's really aiding the oil prices is that there's been a much higher than expected decline in crude inventories, and that's aiding prices and counteracting people's fears around renewed lockdowns as well as reduced fuel demand due to the second new strain of the coronavirus. So US crude inventories fell by 3.2 million barrels in the week to Jan 8th, ending up at 482 million barrels. Brent crude prices were down just 50 cents at 56. And they earlier touched 57.42, so they definitely did retrace, and they had their best day since Feb 24th before cooling off. US WTI settled 30 cents or 0.6% lower at $52.91 per barrel. Finally, gold prices eased or rather held steady on Wednesday, underpinned by two main factors. Data showed a rise in consumer prices in the United States, and second, expectations of more fiscal stimulus could trigger higher inflation. So on the back of this, spot gold was little changed at 1854.84, and US gold futures were also little changed, but they settled up around 0.6% to $1,854.90 per ounce.